This episode is sponsored by me and by you.
All I really want for my music, I want it to be heard. The root of everyone's desire is to be loved and accepted. I always felt a little bit different to my family and to my friends. Trying to be something that I'm not is so exhausting. And I feel like even when I'm trying to blend in, I still stand out. I am what is known as a self-releasing artist.
That's kind of brave. That's a brave thing to do.
The music that I produce is very much a reflection of me as a person. I feel like I am a blend of so many different influences and backgrounds and experiences. First time I heard my song on the radio, I still get this buzz of excitement that people that I don't even know are listening to my song.
Forces battling in your head, quitting, staying, quitting, staying. Why did you stay?
Support and encouragement from the people that I love and who are around me. You have to love this. You have to love music. If you don't love music, you won't make it through the industry.
Welcome to Local Voice Collective, the podcast that brings Bedford's voices together. It's your chance to discover the most exciting local projects, connect with entrepreneurs, changemakers, coaches, artists, consultants, and influential local people, and ultimately be part of a community that really supports and inspires each other. I'm your host, Andrew Gabriel. Let's dive in. So, I listened to some of your Christian music. So you are Christian, right?
I am a Christian.
Can I say that?
You can say that.
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
ashamed of it. It's not a secret. It's not like I'm a spy or something. Or am I? Yes, I am a Christian, but I wouldn't class my music as Christian music. I just would class it as music.
Okay.
But yeah, there are some elements in it, but I am writing about my life. It's my life story, and I can't write my life story without talking about God in it. And I also am in good company with people like Stevie Wonder and Prince and Marvin Gaye, who also wrote songs and sung songs about God, who were not classed as Christian.
Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
He's a wonder.
He is a wonder, but he wasn't classed as a Christian musician. He was classed as a musician, but he's clearly a Christian. So I think I'm in good company with those guys. So, because I don't really do gospel, so I put gospel in there because there are elements of gospel in my music, but really it's probably more soul, R&B kind of, and there's elements of folk in there. And someone actually once told me that they could hear musical theatre influences in there, which they must have had a really good ear because it is there.
Ooh, okay.
But I didn't realize anyone could hear it. So there's a mishmash of stuff in
Musical
there.
theatre like?
So like Andrew Lloyd Webber, so like Les Miserables, Cats. I grew up listening to that and singing that at school.
Who's your favorite? Do you have any favorites? You can name musicians, songs, genres.
Oh, you mean a favorite musician? Full stop?
Yeah.
No. There's too many to choose from to have a favorite. And even if I had a favorite today, tomorrow it would be a different favorite. So no, there's no favorites. I have like a top 1,000. No
Top
one.
1,000, okay.
Yeah, there's too many to choose from.
I have a top 2,000 then.
Someone didn't make the cut.
And in terms of genres, you like jazz?
Again, I don't have one favorite genre, which is why I am a fusion artist, because I get bored in one genre and I like all of them.
Could you explain fusion?
Fusion, okay, so it's like a blend. So when you put like two flavors together, so you might have...
Smoothie.
Yes, a smoothie. That's a great example.
It's a fancy word for smoothie.
I was thinking of for some reason I was thinking of gammon with pineapple, but a smoothie is a much better analogy. Okay, so with a smoothie, you might add some spinach, some carrots, some kale, some apple, some bananas and stuff, and then you blend it all together and it creates a new flavor. And that's what I do with music. That's what fusion music is. It's me putting a little bit of soul in there, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of gospel, a little bit of classical, a little bit of folk, and then I'm mixing all together and blending it and then making something new.
But I guess you need to have a pretty good taste when you're doing those smoothies, because you can't mix let's say vinegar with bananas and this kind of stuff. So you can really need to be careful what to pick.
Yeah, and I think that's where my background in knowledge of music helps, because I know what sounds good because I've pretty much been studying it my whole life, whether I know it or not. So I know this goes well together. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go to the studio and I try something and it doesn't work. And I think those two blends don't go well together. But that's also a lesson learned. And then other times I'm like, oh yeah, these two flavors go really well together, and maybe I could add the third one. Oh, that's even better. But it's an experiment.
So it's kind of trial and error.
It is. But there is a basis of knowledge there. I mean, I'm not someone who's never had a smoothie before in my life. So yeah, I'm quite adept at kind of like listening to stars and thinking what will go well together. I'm really hoping someday to blend Bhangra music with funk.
Okay.
I want to call it Fungra.
Oh, right.
But I haven't done that yet. And I don't know yet whether it's going to work. But in theory, in my mind, I hear it and I think they would go quite well together. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. And where's the feedback coming from? You just put together something and you just judge it by yourself, or you put it out there and just let the audience judge it?
It's a bit of both. So when I did my first album, But for the Grace of God, I was thinking way too much about what other people would like and what they would think. So there was me in there, but it was also more kind of what would work. Whereas with my second album, which is coming out soon, I wanted to do what I loved. And I thought if what I put out there is something that I absolutely love and it really reflects me as a person, as my personality and my abilities and my skills and my tastes, then I'm happy with that, even if people don't like it. But what I found is that people like this album more than they like the other one. I mean, they've only heard 3 songs so far, but the feedback from what I have put out in the singles so far from my second album has been amazing. So I think the more that I am me and the more that I trust my own instincts, and the more that I go with my own flavors and blends and ideas and experiment and try stuff, is the more people seem to enjoy it. So yeah, it's
so
a bit of
true.
both.
Sometimes when we focus on something and trying to force it, it just doesn't come out as genuine, authentic. And sometimes when you just let it go and just let the flow happen, it can make wonders.
No,
Did
I
you
agree.
experience
I
that?
agree. I agree because I felt more comfortable producing the second album. It just felt more me. You know, like when you're wearing somebody else's clothes, they're clothes, but it doesn't feel quite right. You don't feel at home.
Yeah.
And I felt with this album, I felt like I was wearing my own clothes. I felt like I was wearing my pajamas, which are the most comfortable piece of clothing that I have. And I liked that feeling. I think I came into my own as a producer as well on the second album. I trusted myself more.
So you mentioned first album and second album. Could you give me a brief overview of kind of your work and what you do and why you do it as well?
So that means that I write my own music and I release it myself. So I don't go through a record label or for a publisher. I do it all myself. So that's what I do. Why I do it is a more complex
That's kind of
question.
brave. It's a brave thing to do.
It is, and that's why the why is more difficult to explain, because it's like, why would you put yourself in this position to be on your own out there competing with other people who have, like, you know, $1 million record companies behind them? And the answer is plainly, I can't stop writing music. I did and have thought a number of times about quitting. And each time I think about quitting, I write another song. And then I think... Oh,
About quitting.
No. No, just a song. But like, and then it's such a good song that I think, this needs to be heard.
Yeah.
And then it starts all over again. I then think I need to record that. And then I record it. And then I'm like, I need to get it out there. And then I think, why am I doing this? I want to quit. And then I write another song. And it's like, yeah, this is, I just need to get to the point where I accept that I am a songwriter and it's part of who I am and it's part of what I was created to do. And I'm not going to stop doing it, whether I do that professionally or not. That's just something I can't help doing. I'm always humming melodies all the time. I'll walk from one room to the other and a melody will just come into my mind and I have to grab my phone quickly. I'm like, quick, and record it and be like, you know, I have to remember this, you know, and if someone's talking to me, I'm like, shh, stop talking to me, I have to remember the melody.
Yeah.
And record it so that I can, at some point make it into a proper song. And that happens all the time. My phone is literally got a list of like song ideas that I haven't yet even begun to even sort through and try and make into
Melodies
something
only,
else.
or
Mainly melodies. Sometimes I beatbox as well, not professionally, but when I have an idea, sometimes in my head I can hear the drums for it. So I will, in my phone, I will kind of like, do the
yeah.
and and then so I can get the idea for later when I listen back to it and think those are the kind of drums that would go well with this melody. Sometimes there's lyrics, sometimes there's not. It depends really. Sometimes it's really a small idea and sometimes it's a big idea.
That's kind of mind-blowing. So just to recap, producer, songwriter, singer, performing artist, and what else?
Ooh, I also teach.
Teacher. Okay.
Yes. And I fell into teaching. I didn't intend ever to be a teacher, but it was something that I ended up doing. I did supply teaching on the side of music because it was really convenient. I can choose when I work. It was well paid. And if I got a gig, then, I could say I'm not available anymore.
It's mind-blowing. And you also self-published 2 albums.
Yes.
And you... do you perform?
I do, yeah. I have been doing a tour recently called the Album Release Tour. I like titles. But basically the whole point of the tour was to build up my fan base so that when I released the full album, that there would be people to actually listen to it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I've done small and big festivals. I've done like venues, cafes, charity events, just like loads of different places and occasions and events, just to kind of like, get my name out there. And
how
get
can people
to
find
know.
you?
I have my own website. It's called tremmusic.com.
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 Okay.
Because no one can spell Tremaine. So there's no point having a website, called Tremaine.com, because they'll be like, how do I spell that?
Yeah.
So I decided that I would go with Trem Music, which means Tremaine's music. It's basically the 2 words merged together. Again, another fusion.
Yeah.
So Tremaine's music is what Trem
I
Music
understand it
stands for.
because I changed my name and that was the same reason.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your name before?
Endre.
That's
Which
such
is
a cool name, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, no one
So-
can spell that. I wouldn't know how to even start spelling that. Ender, though. I like that. That's cool.
So are you ready to go a little deeper? Because you mentioned something that I want to actually discover. You mentioned those 2 forces battling in your head, quitting, staying, quitting, staying. And then
Yes.
what was the force that made you think of quitting? And then why did you stay?
Good question. Okay, so the thing that made me think that I wanted to quit is that this industry, the music industry, is very hard. Um, and it's not really, it's not just about talent. It's about perseverance. It's about resilience. It's about making connections with people, about who you know. And there's so much rejection, like so much rejection. Like I can send 100 emails to different venues and festivals asking for a date to perform, and I could hear back from 10.
From venues?
Yeah, like, saying, oh, I would love to perform at your venue. I'd love to perform at your festival. I'd love to perform at your whatever it is that they're doing where there's live music. And, only 10 of them will get back to me.
Is it the venue itself?
I mean, there's different ways of trying to find trying to find gigs. So one of those is to go to the venue itself.
And self-organize everything else?
Which,
Kind
yeah.
of the event and the...
Oh,
the
no. So some venues have live music on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis or every day.
Okay.
So, for example, there are some bars and clubs in Luton or in Milton Keynes who they have live music regularly. So they have other performers there. So I would then go to that venue or, email them or call them or walk in if I'm feeling brave and say, I'm a performer. I would love to perform here. And either they will say yes or they will say no or they won't say anything, which is the worst, to be honest. When they don't say anything and ignore you is worse when they say, oh, no, actually, it's not the kind of music that we want here. Because if it's not the kind of music that they perform there, then that's fair enough. I'm okay with that. But if they just ignore you and don't say anything.
Yeah, and you need to write, hello, I would like to follow up on my last email.
All that stuff. And
Yeah.
it can take its toll, the rejection, after a while, when you're thinking, well, I've got good songs and I'm a good performer. Why isn't anyone booking me? Like, why can't I get the gigs? Or when I put my music forward for a radio station, and again, they either don't want to play it or they don't get back to me, and it can make you feel, it can make me feel like, maybe that I'm not good enough, or that, that they don't want me. Why am I doing this? I'm not getting anywhere. And then before I know it, I'm starting to feel like, am I making a mistake? Am I doing the wrong job? Should I do something else? Is everyone that I know been lying to me this whole time? And maybe I'm not that good a singer as I think I am. And then you start to doubt yourself. And then you think, oh, maybe I want to quit. Maybe I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm not strong enough.
So that's the question. Are you questioning your creative abilities as well? Or you only questioning kind of the system?
I'm questioning both. But when you get a lot of rejection, or a lot of people saying, no, we don't want your music, or we don't want your performance, you start to wonder, is it them or is it me?
Oh, yeah.
Because at first you're like, oh, well, they don't know what they're missing. And then after a while, when it's a few more people, you're like, did I sing all right? Did I do all right? Like, how does my video look? How do I look? And you just question yourself. But to answer your question, Feli, the thing that keeps me going, I would say number one is my faith in God. He gives me the strength to get up every day and to keep doing this. Number two, writing those amazing songs that just come to me, and I'll be sitting on the piano and suddenly I'm like, this is going to be an amazing tune, when it's finished. So that motivates me, that inspiration motivates me to keep going. The third thing that keeps me going is support and encouragement from the people that I love and who are around me, who tell me that actually, no, this song is good. You are doing a good job. Just sometimes at the point where I think I want to quit is when I get a message from someone who says, oh, I sent your CD to my friend in America and she loves it and she's been playing it every day. And I'm like, oh, okay, someone's listening, someone's enjoying it.
So you've got plenty of positive feedback as well.
Yeah, that really helps. It really helps when you've got real fans, like people who will listen to every song that you do and come to 3 or 4 of your performances and who would champion you and telling you that you're doing well, keep going. It makes all the difference. And I think everyone with talent, particularly in a creative field, needs people around them like that to encourage them, because without the encouragement, a talent alone won't do it.
But the creative process itself, it seems to be flowing and going well. I mean, you mentioned how you write songs, like you just think of a melody, you record it and you kind of write the song. And
Yes.
did you have any issues with the creative process itself?
Yes, in a way. But because I'm not writing to a deadline or anybody else's schedule, it's not really that much of an issue for me, because I'm doing album projects. So by the time I started my first album, I already had more than enough songs for one album. So it was more a case of choosing what ones would work and rejecting what wouldn't work, So I wanted all the songs to kind of go well together. So I had more than enough, and I ended up with 10 or 11 tracks. But I probably had 20 that I could have chosen from, because I'd already written a lot of stuff before I got there. With the second album, same thing as well. I actually started out with about 15 songs and I've cut it down to 12, because the 3 of them that I started didn't quite fit with the rest. And in between album projects, I'm still writing songs. So as I said to you, I've got my phone full of song ideas.
Plenty of ideas.
And I think sometimes you have to, in times of famine, if you will, when you've got writer's block, you can go back to the time when you had time of feast, So I've got all these ideas in a prolific period. Then I've recorded them so that when I do get to a point where I'm running dry and I've got no ideas, I just go back to all the ones that I've previously recorded on my phone.
So you have a real proper system.
Yeah, I think so.
In other words.
I didn't realize
good.
until you said that, but yes, I think I do have a system. And I think I was a bit loath to write anything new while I was currently recording the second album, because I needed to focus on that. I needed to focus on the songs that were already there. 12 songs that I'm recording. I can't then be thinking about new songs. So I tried as much as possible to kind of just record basic ideas of new songs and put them to the side, because I needed to focus 100% on recording the second album. And I actually have a book. I brought it with me.
Okay.
This is my lyric book. Someone gave it to me as a gift, like for a birthday or something, or for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. I love all the colors, because this is very me.
Can you show it to the
Oh
camera?
yeah, of course. Yeah, that's my idea. This doesn't leave the house, by the way.
Okay.
So this is a special thing, because I don't. Because one time I took it out of the house and had it in my bag because I was taking it to the studio, and I left that bag on the bus. And I almost had a heart attack, because I was thinking there were loads of other things in my bag, but I didn't care about any of them more than I cared about the lyric book, because I was like,
it's your life's work.
I can't write these ideas again because I can't remember them. But I used this book to write down song lyrics, chords, like I put little markers in there. It's
pretty long. Pages and pages of
pages
ideas.
And pages of song ideas that haven't yet come to fruition. Some of these are already on the album.
Well.
Yeah. And I have a unique way of writing chords, because I have a music theory background, but I struggled when I got to A-level, because a lot of my musical ability is natural and self-taught. So instead of like writing scores and writing melodies out, I have my own system. So I do a chart where I will write. So how do I describe this? So noughts and crosses, the game. Where you kind of have two lines going this way and then two lines going that way. So I have lines going down this way, and then a line going through the middle, and then the top square, if you will, that's top space in that, is where I write the notes that I'm playing in the right hand. And then the bottom bit is where I write the notes that I'm playing in the left hand.
How interesting.
Yeah, so I can show you.
This is your own system.
Yeah, this is, I just developed this because it's easier for me to read this than it is for me to read a scored piece of music.
And one is the melody and the other one is the...
Yeah. So, these are chords. So I'm playing this in my right hand, I'm playing that in my left hand, this in my left hand, that in my left hand. And it makes sense to me. That's how I remember the chords. Rather than writing them out, and I do it all the time. Like,
it's very creative.
Yeah, and it's quicker.
Do you teach this method to anybody?
No, I haven't, but maybe I should.
Okay.
But this is the first time I've shared it. I don't usually share this. I don't usually show my book to people, because I don't know, not many people ask, to be honest. But yeah, this is something that I personally love. And I keep it very safe and don't let it leave the house now, because it's full of ideas that could potentially be hit songs that could one day make me a fortune, or just really help someone.
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of challenges and difficulties, and how did you overcome them? I think it's time to talk about the positive side as well. So did you have any major successes, anything like a peak moment in your career, or peak moments in terms of feelings and excitement?
Other than this moment right here. Okay, so I think a big moment was probably the first time I heard my song on the radio. I think every artist has that. I can't remember what the first radio show it was that I heard my music. It might have been the Gospel Zone, maybe, in Dunstable. I can't remember if there was one before that. Actually, no, it might have been UCB. But yeah, no, hearing my song on the radio it was a massive moment for me. And it still is now. I mean, even though it's been on quite a few radios, different stations, I've had different music played on different radio stations. Despite that, I still get this buzz of excitement that, that out there on the waves of people that I don't even know, whether they're chopping their vegetables or driving their car, are listening to my song. That makes the hardships and the difficulties worthwhile, because it's like, all right, all that hard work paid off, all those hours in the studio when no one else is hearing this, and I'm sitting there thinking, should I put this trumpet on there? Should I not put this trumpet on there? And doing my vocal and going, is that good enough? And redoing it. Suddenly, when someone's listening to it and I hear it on the radio, I'm like, yes, people are hearing it. And that's all I really want for my music. I want it to be heard. I've got to play some really cool venues, but I've never really actually played cool venues as me. I've played them with other bands or other artists, but there were still good moments. So one of the top moments for me was when I got to sing backing vocals for Beverly Knight, when she was doing a show, I think for ITV, where she was singing a Carpenters song, and there were some of us doing backing vocals, like a small choir, and I got to be part of that. That was a big moment. I enjoyed that. Also, we're on Children in Need, which is, I don't know if do you know Children in Need? Okay.
I know, yeah.
Peter Andre was doing a song, a Michael Jackson song. And that was really cool. Just even being at the BBC studios and kind of getting to be part of that was really cool. Yeah. I mean, also I got to perform for when they had the Olympics in 2012 here in London. Wow. In 2011, they had 1 year to go celebrations, and they did a kind of speeches and performances in Trafalgar Square, out, where the lions are, those big lions in Trafalgar Square. Yeah. So they had like an outdoor event there, and I got to sing there as part of the choir. So that was a pretty big moment. Yeah. I think the best times I've had with my music career is when I've got to perform on stages that I've dreamed of performing on, where I've got to meet and kind of like, relate to other singers that I admire, people like Imani and Louise Marshall. People that I've kind of got to perform on the same stage as them and being like, wow, because like I really admire these like singers and performers. So those have been highlights as well for me.
You work on your own, but do you have a team behind you?
Yeah, I have some support, but I don't really yet have a team. That's something that I'm hoping to get to in the next stage of my career, is to put together a team of people so that I can focus more on the songwriting and the performing element and not so much on the promotion side and all the admin. But that's the next phase that I'm hoping to get to, because despite the successes, you still need funding for that.
Absolutely.
And I haven't as yet had the funding, but I believe it will come very soon.
And what's next for you? What are your next plans in terms of gigs, in terms of albums, in terms of songs? Obviously, you got like thousands and thousands of songs in your
thousands,
your
hundreds maybe,
Hundreds.
but not thousands. World domination?
Okay.
No, I have a list of like dream venues that I'd like to perform at. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for my dreams, and I think I've always been
Dream
doing
venues
that.
like? Could you name
The
a
Jazz
few?
Cafe.
Jazz Cafe.
I've performed there before, but I've never performed there as Tremaine. I've performed there with another band or another group, and I'd like to perform there in my own right.
Okay.
So the Jazz Cafe, 606, which is a jazz club in London.
Ronnie Scott's?
Yes. Oh my word, that's a dream. Yes.
Okay.
That's one of my dreams. I would love to perform at Ronnie Scott's. That's high on the list. Pizza Express Live, I'd love to perform there. Carnegie Hall in New York.
Wow. Gosh.
I'm dreaming big.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a few places I'd like to perform in New York. I'd like to do that. I'd like to do a European tour of venues. It would be my dream and my honor if I got to perform at some smoky jazz venue in Paris.
Smoky?
Yes. I mean, not real smoke, but like...
Yeah. Yeah, that was the question,
But, you
basically.
know, the
Do
atmosphere
people still
is...
smoke in Paris?
Maybe they do, I don't know. But a smoky atmosphere, you know, like a really cool kind of like, you know, round the back where you have to go downstairs and no one really knows where it is, but everyone does, you know, one of those venues in Paris. That would be awesome. I'd love to do more
still
performances.
smoke in, I think, in Bulgaria.
Okay, well, maybe that's where I need to go.
Yeah.
Breathe it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'd love to do more performances with my band as well, because I've done a lot of performing on my own because I'm a singing pianist. So I can accompany myself, or I've done it with a guitarist as a duo, but I haven't had that much opportunity to perform with my band. So I'd like to do more gigs with
pianist.
them.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Like Alicia Keys?
Yeah, she's one of my influences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And who else?
Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye,
Okay.
who also plays the piano, by the way, and Kate Bush actually as well. I love how she is herself completely. She doesn't compromise.
Mm-hmm.
She is not afraid to be weird or different. In fact, she embraces it, and that's what makes her so
The
unique.
difference. She
Yeah.
embraces the difference. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And whenever you mention Kate Bush, people are like, "Oh, I love her. She's amazing," and she's nowhere near mainstream. You know, since she started, I think when she was like 17, she's done her own thing, and I really admire that. And it's really given me the courage to do my own thing as well, and not feel like I have to be like other singers or other artists who may look similar to me, who might be similar age, or like, I don't need to do that. I just need to be 100% Tremaine. And I think I've kind of learned that a lot from. I've also learned that a lot from Marvin Gaye as well, because he also just, when he did the What's Going On album, no one else was doing that at all. It was completely out there, and that really inspired me as well. But I also am inspired by people like John Williams, who have you ever heard of John Williams before?
No, sorry.
Okay. No, many people have, because I'm a really big film buff, so I love films. And whenever I watch a film, I will look to see who does the music, and that's how I learn who John Williams is. So some of the, I think he's the best film composer.
Film composer.
Yes. So Jurassic Park, he did that.
Wow.
He did E.T., he did Jaws. He did the music for Superman, the one with Christopher Reeves. Star Wars. Yeah. And they're all amazing scores of music. And if you just listen to them without even watching the film, they're just as beautiful. They're still amazing pieces of music, even if you don't put them with the film that they're supposed to be for.
Yeah, it's a shame these people are kind of in the background always, because you don't really talk about a film composer all the time, but you talk more about the performing artist, I guess.
Yeah. But you can be influenced. I mean, that's what I realized as an artist. You can be influenced by anyone and anything. I remember one time watching an interview by Adele, and she said that she was influenced by a film, I think it's called The Perfect Storm, where she saw the character, Mark Wahlberg, kind of like, you know, in the water, and he was kind of like round in the water, and that inspired her to write Rolling in the Deep. Because he was
the motion
he was like a rolling motion in the deep water, because he's like in the sea.
Okay.
And I thought, oh my word, yeah, like you can get influence from anywhere. And from anything. Like, you know, a crisp packet, you know, could be opened and you think, oh, that would make a great sound on a recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inspiration. You mentioned something about compromise.
Yes.
And you don't compromise, and something about uniqueness as well. So some people do like to belong and kind of compromise a little bit more and kind of conform to other people's opinion. And some other people like to be unique and kind of stand out. So if we imagine this like a scale, where are you on this scale? Like belonging and compromise and standing out in uniqueness?
I think I'm towards standing out, but not necessarily out of choice. I think when I was younger, I desperately wanted to belong, because I always felt a little bit different to my family and to my friends, and I couldn't put my finger on why. Um, so I tried as much as I could to belong and to fit in and to be more like my friends and my family, but it just didn't work for me.
Okay.
It just didn't
It's
work,
fair enough.
and I feel like even when I'm trying to blend in, I still stand out. So I thought, yeah, I'm not going to bother trying anymore to fit in. I'm just going to be me. And the more that I've done that, is the more relaxed I am. I have
About being different
yeah, about
and
being
about
me,
your
but
music being different.
embracing, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
embracing who I am and that being different. But trying to be something that I'm not is so exhausting and takes so much energy. And I don't have any more energy to
That's
give.
probably the reason you do fusion, because it kind of blends everything and it's like unique.
Yeah, and also because I've got so many different influences and my background is very mixed.
Mhm.
So the music that I produce is very much a reflection of me as a person. I am
Okay.
a mix. So even though I'm black and I'm have Caribbean roots, I'm very English, I was born here and I had fish and chips and beans like everybody else. Like that's what I ate. I don't even know how to cook West Indian food. So even though it's part of my background and my heritage, I don't know as much of it as I know of being in Britain. Like,
Mhm.
I'm very British. Like that's all I've ever known. I've never lived anywhere else. I've visited other places, but I've never lived anywhere else. So I feel like I'm a blend of the two, of being both British and both being Caribbean. I feel like my even just in my family, I feel like I'm a blend of like, the people around me and their influence. I wasn't really quite like anyone, but there's
Mhm.
elements of me that like my dad, there's elements of me that like my mum, and obviously everyone is a blend of their parents, but so there's that going on. And when I was at school, I went to a Catholic school and they sang mass and I sang in the choir, so we learned
Mhm.
about like the harmonies and arias and so that has informed my musical aesthetic, but it's also informed my understanding of music as well. So now when I do harmonies, like if I'm doing vocals and I'm doing background vocals, I will think of how can I do this harmony? How can I sing another part on top that goes with what I'm doing? And I think some of that would have come from the influence of singing in a Catholic mass choir when I was younger and in other choirs as I was growing up, as well as having some influence of jazz in there and
Hmm.
some influence of gospel and, and having different relationships and people in my life who brought other forms of music
Yeah.
to my attention. So I feel like I am a blend of so many different influences and backgrounds and experiences. So explains why my music is as well.
That can be a great asset. I actually read a research paper not long ago about people who live in multiple places are more innovative and come
Mm,
up with much, much better like solutions. They have just a unique perspective of seeing the world.
mm.
And you're kind of doing the same thing, like um, gathering multiple experiences, everything comes together in you. You kind of build something that's unique. It's completely your own. It's an amazing thing to watch and to listen to. What would be your number one advice for
Oof.
somebody maybe who is like 18 and wants to be a singer, wants to sing on the BBC, Royal Albert Hall, Ronnie
Oh,
Scott's,
dream.
Carnegie Hall?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So the first thing I would say to them is you have to love this. You have to love music. If you don't love music, you won't make it through the industry because the industry and it's called the music industry, but you have to realize that it's a business as well as it being about music. And most of what you do as a freelance musician is business side and not always just music. So you have to love music to get you through the bits that are a bit more difficult or the bits that are not as glamorous or as fun. I would say have a support system. Make sure that you've got people around you that will support you and that will encourage you and to help you every step of the way. Get singing lessons. I
Mm.
I would recommend that to anyone starting out. Even if you think, yeah, I can sing, You would be surprised the difference that singing lessons can make. My singing teacher is amazing. And what she's helped me to do with my voice has really helped me in the recording studio to record vocals. It's also helped me live to be more comfortable in my own voice and to be more confident in what it can do. She's helped me to realize that actually I can sing higher than I thought I could.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought my range was kind of like, from here to here.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's actually here. So I make use of that now when I'm recording because I do all my backing vocals. So I do the high parts and I do the low parts and I do the middle parts. And I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that if I hadn't done singing lessons. I would also say to them if they're going to invest properly in good show reel, because I need a new show reel myself. One that's really good quality, and it's worth investing a good amount of money in that. And as much as possible, see if you can get yourself an agent or be part of an agency and get a mentor. Find someone who is in the music industry already, who is doing what you want to do and who's ahead of you, and ask them questions and ask them if they would help you and give you advice. Because yes, you can figure the things out by yourself, but it would take less time and less energy if you can find out from someone who's already been there and done some of it already. That would be my advice.
Could you show me one single, very simple exercise that maybe people listening to this podcast can try on their own at home?
Okay. Do you mean a vocal one?
A vocal
or just
one,
a
yeah,
vocal
vocal one.
Okay, so this is probably the easiest one. It may not be because it may be easy for me, but maybe not for you. Okay, so you put your lips together.
Okay.
Okay, and you blow bubbles. You're putting your lips together, but you're blowing through, so you're kind of going like blowing a raspberry, like. Okay, but instead of just blowing out, now you're going to kind of put a pitch to it. So you're going to start at the low part of your voice, and then what you're going to do is you're going to slide from that low note up to a higher note. So you're going to go, and you come back down again.
Okay.
Your face, you're like, I don't know how to do that.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just looking.
So basically what you're doing is you're going from the bottom of your range to the top of your range and back again. So it's an exercise to get your voice warmed up. So when you sing, you have to warm up because it's a muscle.
Yeah.
The same way as if you were a runner. You would have to do stretches and you would have to warm up so that you don't seize up the muscle and damage it. It's the same with the voice. If you just start singing without doing a vocal warm up, you will cause damage. And sometimes it doesn't sound as good as well because it's almost like your voice needs time to wake up. You can't just suddenly hit a note and your voice wasn't ready for it. It's like, So you do exercises like that going up and down so to get your voice box used to all the notes that you may sing later on. Do you want to give it a try?
Could you show me something more vocal?
Oh, okay.
Like your actual voice.
You want me to sing, basically?
Yeah, basically.
They've just asked me that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Now, maybe something simple that people can imitate at home or can try themselves.
Do you want to do call and response with me?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
You don't even know what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me just get some water first.
Okay.
So call and response is something that I think it's from Negro spirituals.
Okay.
It's very much used in the gospel world as well. So a lot of my background is gospel singing. So a call and response is whatever I sing, you sing it back to me. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'll start easy and then I'll get more complicated as we go along.
Okay.
I'm laughing because I already can see how nervous you are. You're like, okay. I don't even know what I'm going to say. Okay, here we go. Okay, fair enough. I would do something that I do at my concerts. It's called the Sing It Back Challenge.
Okay.
And it's from my new single, Thankful. Okay, so. I'm thankful
I'm thankful.
Too high. I'm thankful.
I'm thankful.
Good. I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I'm alive.
Great.
I never had any singing lessons. Okay. Woo!
You ready?
I do feel nervous. Yeah.
Okay. You ready to go a little bit
Yeah,
harder?
but, yeah.
Okay. I'm thankful.
I'm thankful.
So thankful.
So thankful.
I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I'll say again. I'm alive.
I'm alive.
Yay!
Sort of.
What was I going to do? Breathe in.
No, sorry, I can't do that. I can't go high. I can't go high.
I'll bring it low. Okay. Breathe in.
Breathing.
Breathe out.
Breathe.
Breathe out.
Breathe out.
Breathe out.
No, I think I hit my limits. Yeah.
So I do this with audience. When I do live performances, I do it with an audience. So I challenge
It's much
them.
better when 500 people singing at the same time.
Yes, you're all on your own, and we didn't even warm up your voice or anything. So, but no, I pit audiences against each other. So I have a ranking system. So I say, okay, Luton was a very good audience. St. Neots was a good audience. Northampton, you have to be great. So, and I make it, a bit more difficult each time. I've got little clips that I have of performances that I put on YouTube just to show how audiences are doing. And then I'm going to try and put a poll together to see, who do you think should be number one? Which audience is the best? But and it's not easy though. It's not easy to sing what somebody else is singing, particularly if they're a professional and you're not. And also, I don't know what your range of singing is. I don't know how high or how low you can sing. So I was guessing, but
Thank you.
You did well.
That was such an amazing experience. I really hope the listeners loved as well.
Oh, me too.
And maybe they can try it out.
They can try it. Yeah, they can try it. That's fine. Or they can come to one of my concerts and try it then.
Absolutely. What's your next one?
Oh, good question. I don't have anything coming up at the moment because the album's coming out in February. So I am...
In February?
Yes. So because the album is called Something About Love. So the theme of the whole album is love, not just romantic love, but just I did a study, my own personal study, where I kind of found out that the root of everyone's desire is to be loved and accepted. So I wrote a whole album about what I discovered in that time. And so I thought it would be a good idea to release it around February because that's when people are thinking about love and Valentine's Day and. So that will be when it's released. But I'm going to be doing more concerts then. But for the time being, I'm furiously working behind the scenes, trying to build up my profile and sort out all the admin side and get the album mastered and ready so that come February that it's all ready to go. So I'll have a lot more performances then, but you can find them on my website as well on tremusic.com. There'll be lots of performances on there.
Okay. So listen to her album coming up in February about love and have a good time. Thank you very much for coming, and it was a real pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yay!
Thanks. Woohoo! All right.